Good evening, my name is Holly and I would like to welcome you to Darling Downs Christian Early Childhood Centre. I'm the coordinator in the Early Childhood Centre and on behalf of my team, welcome. So thank you for joining us to learn more about the value of early childhood education and how Darling Downs Christian Early Childhood Centre can offer your child a high quality early education in a nurturing Christian environment. As you've taken a seat tonight, you would have noticed a brochure about Darling Downs Christian Early Childhood Centre. I would encourage you to look through it at any time, and if you have any questions, I would like you to just save them until the end of the presentation. So at Darling Downs Christian Early Childhood Centre, we specialise in care and education for children from birth to preschool age. Currently, across all ages, we have 40 students enrolled at the centre. So compared to some centres, we are a small service and create an environment inclusive of all age groups. Even though we are a small service, we provide a high ratio of educators to children, thus providing an environment where children can have more one-on-one time with educators. Our centre is situated on the Darling Downs Christian School campus. And so we regularly visit the school library and provide opportunities for interactions with kindy and prep students. As we are so closely linked to the school, Darling Downs Christian Early Childhood Centre offers a great advantage to families and children for a smooth transition into kindy and prep. And if you can have a look at our diagram up here, you can see the steps that it takes to an easy transition. And that's included in your brochure. We'll be talking about that a little bit more as the night goes on. So Darling Downs Christian Early Childhood Centre philosophy is based on providing a loving, caring Christian environment where students feel safe and nurtured with highly qualified, caring educators that support each child's intellectual, physical, social and emotional development and their needs. So Darling Downs Christian Early Childhood Centre is regarded for our highly qualified educators and the opportunities we offer to enable our educators to continue in their education. So our educators attend regular ongoing professional development, continually striving to better meet the needs of all children. As we aim to provide a quality care and education, we also endeavour to work with parents in the education process to meet parental aspirations. But wait. Some of you may be asking, what is early childhood education? First, I want to address a popular misconception about early childhood education. It is an assumption among some groups that early childhood education is merely babysitting. So let's just take that misconception and throw it away. So there are many different types of early childhood centres. Darling Downs Christian Early Childhood Centre is a long-day childcare service offering care and education to children from birth to preschool age children. Early childhood education is based on conclusive evidence that the period of a child's early years is vital in their learning and development. So from that resounding evidence, collaborations between early childhood centres, academics and the Australian, state and territory governments created the Australian Early Years Learning Framework. So the Australian Early Year Learning Framework may sound like a mouthful of words, and it is a bit tricky to get out, but it is a document that unites early childhood education on a national level to only deliver a high standard of learning opportunities for children. The Australian Early Years Learning Framework is a guide for educators, like myself, to develop programs that enrich the development of children's intellectual, physical, social and emotional needs. The Australian Early Years Learning Framework addresses the needs by offering children experiences in 3 different areas of belonging, being and becoming. If you'd like to learn more about the framework, there is a link to the website in our brochure. At Darling Downs Christian Early Childhood Centre, we achieve child development by focusing primarily on play-based learning. So through play-based learning activities, our program incorporates play first, communication and language, and that includes our literacy and numeracy units, and social interactions with educators and other children. As mentioned, Darling Downs Christian Early Childhood Centre focuses primarily on play-based learning. But what is play-based learning, you may ask? And how can my child learn through play? First of all, play-based learning is fun. It's enjoyable and teaches invaluable skills in an indirect manner and is a proven learning theory that develops young children's learning experiences. So I want you to think back when you were young. Okay, so for some of you it may be a very long time, so I want you to think really hard. Remember when you used to play in the sandpit, trying to build sand castles and making roads in the sand for your trucks? Well, while you're in the sand playing, the pathways in your brain were being strengthened and built. So research on brain development in children's early years show that play creates a brain that has increased flexibility and improved potential for learning. So it's a win-win situation. Did anyone use play blocks when they were younger? I remember watching my older cousin build a tower out of my blocks. As I tried to replicate his tower, sometimes my blocks would stay, but the majority of the time they would collapse. So while I was attempting to build the block tower, the pathways in my brain were being built and strengthened as I began to problem solve. So which block should I put down next to support this new block? And my fine motor skills were being developed as I learned how to place the blocks very carefully and to control and overcome my emotions of sheer frustration if the tower collapsed again. Okay, so research shows that play encourages problem solving, develops fine motor skills, just like my block building. So play also engages children with others. It encourages children to experience and use different materials and objects, and play is physically, mentally and verbally active. And like my block building, play can be enjoyable, but it can also present frustrations, challenges and fears for children to overcome and manage. At Darling Downs Early Childhood Centre, educators assess children's play and also look for areas that children can be challenged more through their play. So children can be challenged by being prompted with questions such as, how can you make a tunnel along the road in your sandpit? Or, how many different pieces of fruit is in your fruit basket? Or, can you try and walk across the balancing beam by yourself? So play-based learning theory is continued into kindergarten and prep, thus preparing children for that transition into schooling. Play-based learning can be made more specific and direct to encourage a variety of learning experiences and depending on the learning style of the child. So we offer playtime with specific focuses on numeracy, literacy, music, cultural history and language. For example, in our literacy hub the other day, the letter of the day was H. A girl was fascinated by the letter because it was the first letter of her name. And so by the end of the session, the girl chose to look through all the letter magnets that we had until she found the correct letter. And then she used her body to shape the letter. Okay, so this specific topic of the letter H for the day in our literacy hub, she was introduced to the topic, but her learning interest for the letter of the day shaped her whole learning experience, and we offer students this at our Early Childhood Centre. At Darling Downs Christian Early Childhood Centre, we have an open door policy for our parents. As mentioned at the beginning of the seminar, we respect parent and child relationships and therefore place great importance on working together with parents to meet your aspirations for your child and your child's aspirations as well. And by working more closely with parents, we aim to gain a better understanding of family, community, cultural and spiritual backgrounds to inform our learning programs and activities for your child. So we encourage parents to visit and assist in the centre through a parent roster that we have and to share any special talents or skills. So we value any feedback and suggestions to assist us to best meet the needs of each child. So in closing, at Darling Downs Christian Early Childhood Centre, your child is special to us. We recognise the great responsibility to care for and educate your child as we create a loving, safe and supportive, God-centred learning environment for them. I pray that you leave here feeling confident that you and your child's care and education is our priority, and it will be upheld to our highest ability. If you still have any questions, please contact Darling Downs Christian Early Childhood Centre. Our details are on the brochure, so there will be details at the front and also on the back. We recognise that you may also like to book a time with us to discuss any further questions that you may have, and you can contact us through those details on your brochure. Or I'll be up the front here if you'd like to speak to me personally after the presentation. If you are interested in enrolling your child at Darling Downs Christian Early Childhood Centre, our enrolment packages are on the table to your left and can be accessed via our website. Hot drinks and light nibbles are now being served to your right, so please help yourself and enjoy getting to know each other. Thank you for coming and being a wonderful audience, and I hope to see you all at Darling Downs Christian Early Childhood Centre in the future. Thank you.